Hey guys, this is Chris Crazy House, and I want to announce that yes, my new coloring book, Naturally Cute Fantasy, is out now and available for you to purchase, and you can get it on Amazon.com. Once again, Naturally Cute Fantasy is the name of the new coloring book that is out now. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the coloring book here in this video. So stick around and we'll sit here and we'll talk for a few minutes about the new coloring book. So first, just let me say that this did take a long time to do, and mainly because of what's been going on around the world really with COVID-19 and the quarantines and whatnot. So when they started this quarantine, both my wife started working from home and my daughter was staying home because obviously she couldn't go to school. So a lot has been going on with us here in this house. And even though we live in a pretty decent sized house, still, my daughter is very young. For those who don't know, I have a 5-year old. So when they're that age, she still needs her attention. And she's more at the age now where is daddy, look at this. Daddy, let me show you this. So she either wants me to show me things, or we've been doing some homeschooling as well. And I've taken up most of the teaching and supervising responsibilities for that, for doing homeschool. So we so in doing that, I didn't get a chance to work as much as I usually do, because I before, obviously, I had 6 hours 5 days a week to get whatever work I needed to get done. But that dramatically changed in March when we had the quarantine. And like I said, first it was the tornadoes. You saw my videos. I did that on this channel, talking about the tornadoes that we had here in Tennessee. And that was just like a week or so of my daughter being at home with me. But then that changed even more with the quarantine. Like, it seems like as soon as we got back to school, they were talking about we got a quarantine. And what the real disappointing thing to me was, a lot of my scheduled appearances got canceled. So I was going to do some conventions this year, but all that got canceled because of the quarantine. So I'll be honest, I say I was very upset about that. And I there are times during the summertime where I would get a little depressed. Like, anytime the actual event came up in the springtime or the summertime, I was like, damn, I sure wish I was at that convention right now. Because I like doing that. I like traveling to different places and also meeting my fan base and also making new fans there, and just talking with other artists as well. That's a great community of people to be around. It's always very inspiring. It's always very uplifting. It's always very energizing for me after I come back. I'm usually very fired up, but being stuck in quarantine, and while I can blow off steam here and there, is still, like, because of the quarantine, we're kind of stuck in the house, especially for those first 3 months. So there was a lot of, literally the same thing was happening every day, and you couldn't go anywhere. So it got very tedious and mind numbing, even to someone who's an introvert like myself. But I still like to go outside and drive around and stuff. So it was tough. But one of the things that did keep me sane, obviously, was doing artwork and working on this book, as well as the Hey Rue Jackson coloring book, which hopefully will be out by the end of October, early November, because I want to try to get it done before the holiday season so people can buy it for the holidays. You know, getting this work done was one of the things that somewhat kept me sane while this quarantine was going on. So for those who have followed me on YouTube and on other social media like Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, I just want to say to you all, first and foremost, that I appreciate you. I always appreciate your support. I appreciate your words of encouragement. And if I can give any words of encouragement to any artists out there who are feeling the same way, I want to say that I understand this year has been tough, but we can persevere. If anything, I think this is a good time where we can kind of put our nose to the grind and create some good work, or maybe learn a new skill, maybe do some things that you've never done before. And I think we can come out better for it in the end. Because I do feel I'll be better for it if things go back to normal, or if things become quote unquote the new reality, right? I think I'll be okay either way. There's a lot of things that I have planned that kind of got offset, but now I've readjusted, and I think things will be just fine, especially in the year to come. So let's talk about the coloring book, folks. I'm very proud of it. It was a lot of work. There's a lot of there's a lot of editing as far as how this book came together, because there are a lot of things and a lot of ideas that I had to either axe or kind of reimagine to get this book done the way I wanted it to be done. So the basic concept for this is fantasy, and when I say that, I mean I wanted to do another naturally cute coloring book, but I was thinking in the back of my head, like, maybe I should do something more than just have different black women with their natural hair in just regular settings. Maybe I can do something like adding some fantasy elements or maybe sci-fi elements in there, and I can come out with a something that's unique that you really don't see out there. I guess there's some black princess coloring books, but I wanted to go above and beyond, so it's not just so cliche where all the girls in there are just princesses and that's all you get. So that's in there, but I wanted to bring more to my consumers and to my audience out there, so that they could see different versions of themselves in these settings. Because when I go to these conventions, obviously I meet so many black girls who are into cosplay, black girls who are artists themselves. Like, I meet a lot of girls who are into fashion, or they design dolls or whatever. Those are like some of my biggest customers when it comes to these coloring books. So I wanted to give them something else that they could appreciate about Naturally Cute, and by giving them even some characters in this book. So the what I did was I tried to come up with a theme, and maybe try to do 3 or 4 drawings that would go with that theme. So in this book, you have the theme of mermaids. So I do a few black or Afro inspired mermaids. There are some princesses slash fairy tales in there. So there's kind of like a page that kind of represents like Cinderella, and maybe like a little bit of a Little Red Riding Hood in there. I wanted to do kind of like classic sci-fi space ranger stuff, kind of like you would see on like Buck Rogers or Flash Gordon. So I kind of came up with like these like little space ranger girls, and there was I might do this at a different date. Maybe there'll be a sequel to Naturally Cute Fantasy, but there was a concept for Naturally Cute, kind of like version of Star Trek that I had worked out in some of the original sketches for this coloring book, but it never made it to the final version. So we'll see. That might happen, like I said, in a sequel, or maybe I'll render it out and make it a free page, a free coloring page that you can get on my website. So we'll see how that goes in the future. But so there's princesses, mermaids, space rangers. Now I also have cyberpunk. So I wanted to do that, a little bit of cyborgs, like, stuff that you would see in maybe the dystopian cyberpunk genre. It's a lot of the anime that I used to love when I was growing up as a teenager was a lot of cyberpunk stuff, like Bubblegum Crisis and Cyber City and AD Police and Appleseed and Ghost in the Shell and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to do little characters like that to kind of bring that cyberpunk element, because that's something you don't really see too much with black characters. But I want to bring that out there, especially with black female characters. And I also have superheroes as well. And for the superhero take, I was kind of going in the kind of the idea of a Justice League type or Justice League analog, as you can see there. Like there's kind of like an analog for a Superman. I call her the Victory. And there's like a Batman type analog. That's the Ghost Raven. There's even like a kind of girls that resemble the Flash and Aquaman and Green Lantern. So you have all of that in this book. And I might do something with those characters at a later date. I think I might add them to my Chris Crazy House universe somehow. I'm thinking about making them like within the Chris Crazy House universe. They are an actual comic book that the characters in the Chris Crazy House universe actually read. So I'm thinking about doing it like that. So I'll let you guys know, and you'll see it as time goes on. And finally, I had some steampunk stuff in there as well. That's kind of like a genre that you also don't see too much with either African Americans or just Africans, period. But I wanted to add that in there because I'm very much into steampunk. And I really like the idea of kind of having this retro sci-fi / futuristic idea set in like the early industrial age. I always thought that was a cool idea, and I added some in there. And I called them steam witches, so people would probably see their high technology as some sort of witchcraft, but it's not. It's really just a new form of technology, but because they're so crazy and advanced with it, people think that they're witches. So that was kind of my concept for coming up with that. And I might do more with that concept at a later date as well. But kind of just want to get stuff out there, have some fun. Some of the images that I use in here, I'm probably going to take out and use them to make actual stickers. So the next time I can do a convention, you'll have some brand new stickers. Like the Space Ranger girl that's on the back cover is definitely going to be one of the stickers. Like I designed her that way, so that she'd be perfect for a die cut sticker, as well as the Cyberpunk Angel. I believe I called her Angel X. She's going to be a sticker as well. Oh yeah, almost forgot. There is another concept in here that there was supposed to be more to it as well, but I kind of kept it just to 3 pages. And like there was so much stuff that I wanted to do. Like there was an idea of like some pirates that I wanted to put in there, like pirate girls. I never got to that. And this one was more of an action movie type concept called Battle City. So if you're into like Hong Kong action movies, or karate flicks from the 90s, or just these new age like high end action movies, or even like action movies from the 80s where every 5 minutes something was blowing up, like Commando or Action Jackson. That's what I was kind of going for with this Battle City. And I'm going to try to develop this idea more because it's really basic right now, but I would like to develop it more, and maybe one day it could actually be maybe a small beat 'em up game or something like that, because that's kind of the concept too that I was thinking about. Thinking of games like Final Fight and Streets of Rage, where you have like these two, one girl's a cop and the other one's a detective, and they kind of go on this journey to fight the criminals in their city. I kind of give some of the criminals the assassin, the big brawler, and then you have like the corporate crime lord at the end that you would fight, and that's Vera Vicious, which is one of my favorite images in the whole book. I take a lot of pride in that. Like I just kind of came up with it one day while sitting down, actually watching like cartoons with my daughter, and I was like, "Damn, this would be good for the coloring book." So I rendered it out. I did a new version, and then I kind of, got the finalized version and put it in there. So there was supposed to be more to it. There was an actual action coloring page where these characters are actually fighting each other, but that just it wasn't working out and wasn't materializing in time, and I wanted to get this book out ASAP. So that might be something I render out later to be more of a free coloring book page. We shall see. Okay, we shall see in the future. But the main thing, I just wanted to give you guys a lowdown about what the book was about, what was in this coloring book, It's a lot different from the last two, but I'm always trying to up my game and evolve and try to do more with this concept. The next part is actually probably going to be a little bit more character driven. The next Naturally Cute comic book, anyway. Now I want, because I had the idea to actually do that one first and then do this fantasy one, but the fantasy one was just coming to me. All the concepts were coming to me so easily. I was like, well, what I'll do is I will develop the characters for this other one, and I've been doing that because I want to copyright those characters first. So I've been developing the characters for that one. So to kind of give Naturally Cute its own stable of characters, and because I don't know how far this concept can go, but I don't know, I just feel really good about it. So I feel like I can do more with it than even what I'm doing now. I think it could go far. So I've actually been developing the characters in Naturally Cute, all kind of centered around a hair salon. I figure, hell, if Barbie and Bratz and Monster High can have all these concepts where they have an actual stable of characters that they always use, just kind of, maybe change the girls' outfits or maybe even change the girls' hair or whatever. Why can't I do the same thing for black girls, right? So, and that was one of the, like, Bratz was one of the things that inspired me in the first place. And Bratz and Monster High is why I decided to do these things in the first place. So, why not take it to that level? I mean, yeah, like I've explained this probably a gazillion times before about the style that I was going for, and that's why Bratz was one of the things that inspired me. But some people don't get it, or I don't know what people think about what I'm doing when I draw these characters. Like it's funny how there's always at least one person that accuses me of being perverted. I think there's one person who's actually just a troll, who just, because like he or she just literally put the same thing, the same review for both of my coloring books. I was like, well, if you thought this about my first coloring book, why did you buy the second one? And then you look like just copy pasted the review. That's what makes me almost think it's a troll that's just trying to tank things. But I still have people that enjoy it, and the majority enjoy it. In fact, there are even some women who are celebrities who are looking at it right now. So, and I don't plan on selling out or giving this idea to them, but they're at the point where they want to buy more and start passing them out to their friends, which I have no problem with. Obviously, spread the word as much as you can. Shout out to the hair salon in Atlanta, the natural hair salon in Atlanta, that they bought a bunch of the books and they showcased them there at their hair salon. I really appreciated that. The fact that they contacted me, let me sit in on one of their business meetings, because they had like a little corner for little girls at their hair salon, and they posted my books there for the girls to, the girls can kind of sit there, because when you're a little kid, you gotta wait for your mom or your older sister or whatever at the hair salon. They can't be fun. Even getting their hair done is probably not as fun, but now they have something fun there that they can do while they wait to get their hair done or wait for their mom to get their hair done. So I thought that was a great idea and a great thing. Thank you to those sisters. I'll post a link to their website. You guys can check them out. But yeah, this book has really set my career and helped me be more independent. That's one of the things I love about it, and I'm glad that it's taken off. It's one of those things that has kind of freed me from a lot of nonsense and having to kowtow and having to beg for jobs here and there, because the money that I make from these books allows me to concentrate and bring my own projects out there, and I can do more of these. So thank you so much for those who have been so supportive of Naturally Cute. I do appreciate you to the nth degree. I can't thank you enough for that. And I do it out of love and respect for black women, because I want them to see how beautiful they are and why they don't have to try to emulate other people. You can be yourself and be great. That's the main focus that I want to impart in my Naturally Cute series. You can be yourself and still be beautiful and still be great. You don't have to try to cater to these other types out there. Okay? There's nothing wrong with the way that God made you. And even for those who complain about me giving some of the girls wide hips, I did that purposely because, like I said, there is nothing wrong with the way God made you. I don't want you to think that there's something nasty or disgusting. I'm not drawing them in a nasty way, so I don't see why people would get that impression. A woman just standing there just because she has wide hips does not mean she is evil or demonic or bad in some way. You have to be careful of some of this neo-Puritanism. Yeah, I do believe there's a line you can cross, but I'm not doing things to shock you. I'm doing things to help you. And like I said, it's an art style. It's not meant to be perverse in any way. Anyway, you guys, if you have a copy, here's one thing I want to let you know. If you have a copy and you follow me on Instagram or any other social media outlet and you decide to color it, go ahead and color it and, post it on your social media. I'll definitely tag you in mine and show off your work to everybody else. Or if you buy a copy of the book and you love it, please give it a review on Amazon. That helps out a lot. Even if you just say that this coloring book is great or whatever, and give it whatever number of stars you want to give it. A lot of people give them 5 stars. I would appreciate that, but you don't have to do that. I want to hear what people have to say about this and me trying something a little bit different than what I have been doing. I put a lot of work in on this book. I did not shortchange you whatsoever when it comes to the artwork and the time put in. I'll let you know that. Definitely did not shortchange you. I did a lot of work on this book. As just like the other two, literally blood, sweat, and tears went into creating this book. So I hope you guys all appreciate it. And I want you to know I appreciate you very much. Anyway, this is Chris Crazy House signing out. And once again, the book is on Amazon. The link will be in the description box. If you want to follow me online on different social media platforms like Instagram or on Facebook, I'll post those as well. In a few weeks, I will make an announcement. I'll have some free coloring pages on my website, and I'll update all the links on the website so you'll be able to go to there and buy the book as well. So that will be coming very soon, probably within the next 2 weeks. Anyway, folks, Chris Crazy House, I appreciate you, and I hope you get the Naturally Cute fantasy, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't want it for yourself, get it for one of your little ones. Get it for your girlfriend. Get it for someone you love. I'm sure they will appreciate it as well. Anyway, Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.